Oh. It's crazy that it's working now. It wasn't working yesterday. In Edge anyways. It was working in Firefox, but I don't know. But yeah, I finished the static site generator on boot.dev yesterday. This is like actually hosted. Like if you went to this URL, you would see this. Oh yeah. That doesn't do what I wanted it to do. So background blurs. I feel like that should be the first sentence. Like, what platforms support this feature should be up. I pretty much found that it's not going to do what I wanted it to do, so Can't remember how to do that. Get remote. Get remote. Or is there a list? Origin. Spelled it wrong. Oh, add. Match. String. Cat. It's a little too light, so I want to go back to like 7 maybe. Ah, okay. No, I haven't. I haven't used that yet. What is that? Is it available for Linux or just Mac OS? I'm fairly new to Ghosty. I am extremely happy with it though. Like I've got my Ghosty set up where in my config, like control N's, new window, and then like control H and control L to swap tabs. Like I love it. I love Ghosty so far. It's fast. I don't really have any problems with it. So definitely no complaints. Although I've noticed ever since I put Oh My Posh, like I have to say yes to get rid of the new tab because it's running a process. I'm guessing that it's Oh My Posh just making it do that. But it just makes the working directory so much nicer to have that. Like it gives you what Git branch, what shell you're on. But yesterday I actually finished the static site generator on boot.dev. It was fun. And I didn't know, like I learned that, you know, you can host from a docs directory, you can host like your documentation website from a repository for free. Like I didn't know that. Like that's awesome. But yeah, I finished it finally. That was the hardest thing that I had to do on boot.dev so far. And they even said in the last lesson, they're like, this is probably the hardest thing on the whole website. I'm like, it was definitely a challenge. I had to go into VS Code quite a few times and debug it to just visualize what was happening, like processing directories, generating directories and everything. I kept like it was creating a directory that it shouldn't have been, or I learned something about the strip method that I overlooked. Like when you do .strip, hold on, like generation. Like in one of these, I was doing a .strip instead of a .replace. I was trying to strip content. I think it was in generate pages recursive right here. And I finally went to a boomer loop, as I mean, I've heard it called that before, so. But I had to debug this method right here. Give me probably the most issues out of the whole project was this one. Yeah, I got BTOP the other day when you said something about it. Lazy Docker and Lazy Git. I've heard of those. What is? I still have to learn Docker. Like, I know that that's powerful to be able to containerize applications. Like, that's nice. So, but I'm pretty much waiting until I get to that section of boot.dev. They changed their UI. It looks so much better. We'll do the big quest this time. I'm in algorithms and data structures right now, so I'm probably not going to struggle that big until I get to big O analysis. Because that, I'm not sure why, but that just goes over my head. But, and hash maps. I've looked into hash maps and they confuse me for some reason. But it's so hard to find like structured learning material. You know, like the stuff's all over the place. But my Raspberry Pi, I know what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to make a to-do app, a personal to-do app for me, because I'm a little tight and I don't like paying people. I would rather just build a simple little app for myself that will sync across all my devices, all my tasks and stuff. But I'm going to do the back end in Python on it. And then as far as like a front end, I guess I was going to write like a native like Java application for Android, but then I was thinking, why don't I just do a web app? I think I should probably just do a web app. I think I could pull it off. Making Cursor cry today. Oh, wow. I haven't tried out Cursor yet. I want to look into LazyGit real fast, because I've heard of that. I just haven't. Okay, so MIT license. Oh, so it just adds a GUI to the shell. Like the terminal emulator for Git. That's pretty much it. Like all like the experts that I watch on Twitch or whatever, they say, you know, that it's good for feedback and for like maybe small algorithms, but as far as like architecture wise and structuring your project, it's horrible at. So, but I was trying to watch that 7-day vibe coding that the Primogen and TJ did, and I watched some of it, but it's just been crazy with schoolwork. Okay, so it's not in repository. They don't have a 64-bit Linux? Oh, okay. Do I have Go on? I should, because I installed do they have a search like that? I haven't really used Go, so I've used it to download the boot dev CLI tool, and that's about it. I have not wrote any Go code whatsoever yet. Ah, okay. It's a big readme. Yeah, I didn't realize that I had to give it the URL, like the full URL. I just figured like lazy get at latest would work. Okay, so you have to be in a Git repo. I need to create an environment for that. Do you quit that way? Oh, it's down here. So just cute. Yeah, it's Git is very strong. It's powerful. Like it's crazy. But some of the stuff that like I know you can do just about everything that you need to do through the command line. I just like having visual trees, like Git trees and branches and stuff, like the way some of the GUI apps look to really get a good overview of the history because like I think it's Git. I can't remember the CLI command exactly, but like you can do it through the CLI, but it just doesn't look good. I'm guessing you can like squash commits and everything in there too. What does lazy Docker do? Does it just like generate you a halfway good enough Docker file and stuff? Okay. Getting the Docker GUI working in Linux is a nightmare. I don't even know if I have it on here. No, I don't. Like, I know you can get it working, but holy crap. Every time I've tried to install it, it's like a 2-hour process of, oh, you've got to get it from this repository, and it's a nightmare. I'll do a refresh just real fast. Is Jesse the one that did LazyVim too? Or like the lazy plugin manager for new? Okay. He makes very good tools. That's all of his pinned. Man, I wish my commit history looked like that. I would assume that he is. See if he's got anything else on here that would be cool. Huh. Well, I'm going to try to knock out a couple of boot.dev lessons.
An algorithm is just a good set of instructions. If you've ever assembled IKEA furniture, baked a cake, or solved a Rubik's Cube, you've used an algorithm. An algorithm must be 3 things. First, defined. There must be a specific sequence of steps that can be taken to perform the task. It must be unambiguous. An implementation of the algorithm cannot be up to interpretation. The implementation is either correct or incorrect with no in between. 3, it must be implementable. This means we need to be able to carry out the algorithm either with hardware or, more commonly, with software. In computer science, we want to write fast algorithms. Here's a Python implementation of an algorithm that finds the longest string in a list. It keeps track of the longest string so far in a variable. It iterates over all of the input strings and compares them to the largest so far. If it finds a longer one, then that string becomes the new longest so far. By the end, we are guaranteed to have found the longest string in the list. But how fast is it? Well, if there are only 5 strings in the input list, it's almost instantaneous. But what happens if we pass in 5 billion strings? These are the kinds of questions we ask when we're studying computer science.
You know, most introductory uh, CS classes in university, this is the first thing you learn, is pseudocode. Or anything. This is what they show you. When I went to the local tech school near my house, my first semester in college, it was that, which I already knew object oriented. Like, I knew what polymorphism was and everything, so I just fly through that class. But I mean, pseudocode, a couple of the courses that I bought on Udemy, they barely touched it. So I did learn like how to write pseudocode. My problem when I first started doing it was I wanted to get too technical. Or put like artifacts of like a programming language in it, and that doesn't belong in pseudocode.
Simple algorithms. If you've heard usually exaggerated stories about LeetCode and whiteboarding interviews, you might hear the word algorithm and think it's synonymous with hard problem. That's really not the case, and believing it will only psych you out. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca algorithms, like anything else, can be understood by breaking them down piece by piece. Take a look at the following algorithm for adding 2 numbers. It's dead simple. Start with input variables a and b. Add a and b using the plus operator, and assign the result to a new variable, sum. Return the sum variable assignment. For the locked-in influencer dashboard, we need to
Pretty sure there's already a function built into Python to do that, but I'm what should it return if num's is 0? Or instead of, well, no. Let's go ahead and just, there's no sense in doing all of that. Inputs done. I remember one time they did a median thing in the like learn programming. They're like, oh, just give us, you know, this one. Do they actually want me to find the median? Of an even? I mean, it says to appropriately, so I'm assuming I'm going to do it that way. If to 0, then it's even. kind of a redundant else. I'm not going to need that. Or divide a list like that and it like I want to cut the list and then have to act. So I think if I do it this way, thinking I have to -1 off of because lint indexes it for the lists. I've been playing around in a loop. I think that'll give me the first. And then the second, pretty much the same. But if I don't delete the one, then it should give me the. We're gonna try it. I like doing those falsies, like the truthy falsie. I like doing those. I thought sorted it in place. Let me go look up document. I think I'm using. Yeah, business in place. No. What is that? B5. I don't need the wrong. I'm thinking this. I know this is giving me the one before it. But oh. Oh my god, dude. Like, why? What is going on? They didn't give me any free evens.
Exponents are super easy. Really, do not let the complicated, confusing name get to you. An exponent is just a mathematical operator that multiplies a number by itself a certain number of times. But before we go deeper into that, let's just review some even more basic math to make sure that we're on the same page. As you know, 2 times 2 is 4. We're saying that we have 2 2's. Similarly, 3 times
I understand exponents. I think I'm going to skip that video. Was worried if I had that lambda expression. Oh, wait. I forgot all about that. I don't see why this would work. Yeah. Hmm. That wasn't working though. I'm gonna type it back out and feed it into Copilot and see what it tells me what's wrong with it, because I want to know. I'm a little new to Lambda expressions. I mean, the only time that I've really messed with them is in this course. Oh, wow. Silly me. How this? And that right there is the reason why AI is not that good. It's literally what it just gave me, and it's not working. Like, it is giving an error. Okay. Let me go back to what I originally did. What? Where did I fail? Oh, I forgot to return 0 on an empty list. That was an expensive armor. Good God, that's a lot of times to do 2 plus 2. Two times 2. That's a lot, man. Hold on. I think it's 1024, but $300. No? 10 times 10 is 100. 100 times 10 is 1,000. Restock here.
Exponents grow. Exponents grow very large very quickly. Let's take a look at an example of them doing that in code. Assignment. While the influencers who use our platform are really great at taking selfies, most aren't super great at math. We need to write a tool that predicts an influencer's follower growth over time. Complete the getFollower prediction function. Fitness influencers, follower count quadruples each month. Cosmetic influencers, follower count triples each month. All other influencers, follower count doubles each month. For example, if a fitness influencer starts with 10 followers, then after 1 month, they should have 40 followers. After 2 months, they would have 160 followers, etc.
Say a company earns $100 in their first year of business, and then in the second year they earn $200, then $400, then $800, then $1,600, doubling every year. This growth pattern is an example of a geometric sequence. Each number in the sequence is calculated by multiplying the previous number by some fixed number, which we usually refer to as R. And in this case, of course, that fixed multiplier is 2. Let's take a look at another example. Let's say that we start with the number 3, first number in our sequence, and that R is 4. Well, the next number is 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12. Then we multiply by 4 again, getting 48. Then multiply by 4 again to get 192, and then again to get 768. Now, of course, there's an actual formula for this math that we're doing. A sub n, which just means the number that we are trying to calculate, the spot in the sequence that we care about, is equal to a sub 1 multiplied by r raised to the n minus 1. A sub 1 just refers to the first item in the sequence. R is that common ratio, the multiplier. And again, n is just the index of the number that we're trying to find in the sequence. For example, let's say we're trying to find the 7th number in a sequence where the starting number is 100 and the common ratio or multiplier, r, is 3. We can just plug that into our formula. A sub 7, the 7th number in the sequence, is equal to 100 times 3 raised to the 7 minus 1, which of course is just 6. And because 3 to the 6th equals 729, 100 times 729 is just 72,900. So that's our 7th number.
It'd been nice if they would have passed influencer type with like influencer weight. Yeah, it's a string. I'm gonna have to match on it. business, tech. That's the only other one. This is just business and tech. What was A1 in that geometric sequence? That should be follower. Lines. This right here needs to do this over and over again. Wait. Doesn't either. Because that... I was right the first time. I don't need to put... was like messed up that ratio bad. See if it passes all of them before I have to get off. All right, I have to jump off here. I gotta go see my therapist. All right, I'm gonna jump off here. I might get back on later. I don't know.